I've just written a post for my blog and also for Facebook. I do something odd on Facebook. I write blog-length entries, and of course most people don't read them, but occasionally I reach someone. So I'm going to read what I wrote instead of just talking and winging it. Alright then, it's a very strange thing I've experienced recently, this odd feeling, so I'm just going to read what it is. I have a very strange feeling that I have never felt before and which is hard to describe. I feel like I need to speak in a language that is ancient, primitive, something not heard by modern man. If not that, then perhaps something from the Middle East. Hebrew? Arabic? Some people believe in speaking in tongues. I can speak in tongues, I suppose, but I don't think there is anything spiritual about it. I can make sounds that are like a language, but they are gibberish as far as I can tell. The sounds are vaguely Middle Eastern, as far as I can tell, from listening to my students who I tutor, and from people who are from the Middle East who I knew back in college, and who spoke various languages such as Arabic and Assyrian. I feel a bit cathartic when I speak in this way, but I am also worried. What if I am speaking in some ancient language, and what if what I am saying is not good? What if it is a curse, or even worse than that? I also feel as if I strongly need to not only speak from my mouth, but to speak from my whole body. As if I could resonate sound from all of my body and project it forward. If that is possible, I do not know how to do it. This feeling just came up upon me very recently, and I don't understand it. The best thing I can do right now is to use an audiobook called Heal Yourself with Your Own Voice, or something like that. The narrator/author makes strange, sometimes embarrassing, or almost orgasmic sounds to create resonance within the body and to heal oneself. The listener is supposed to repeat these sounds, and I'm guessing these practices are rooted in some ancient primitive tradition. But I could be wrong. It doesn't matter if making these sounds helps. I've had the audiobook for a few years, but have not made the sounds. I don't live alone and feel inhibited. I also have a 4 DVD series on how to free one's singing voice. I believe it's called Singing with Freedom or something generic like that. The teacher's name is Per Bristow, it's P-E-R, and then his last name is Bristow. Loosening up the voice is what the purpose of this video is for. So one can sing with freedom, as the title suggests, and so loosening up the voice so that more notes can be hit, and one's vocal range can be expanded. I have the potential to be a good singer if I practice, but I feel that singing, although a good start, would not be enough. Maybe it would help a lot. I haven't used this DVD series much, and I've only worked, or rather sung, my way through the first DVD a few times. Again, because I don't want to sound strange and bother my family members. Also, I don't like the guy on the DVD. I find him annoying. I'm starting to think that I should really get past these inhibitions and work on these vocal exercises. Perhaps I should chant mantras as well. The only one I know is long in Sanskrit and is a prayer of praise to the Hindu god Shiva. I like chanting it, and yet I don't. I don't want to chant to any god. I don't believe in any god written in any book, written about in any book. Either that, or I feel that any god that has been written about is just a tiny view of a part of what God really is. Like all religions get a tiny bit of a view and think their view is absolute truth. Maybe I should just chant Om. According to the Hindus, that is the sound of the universe. Unfortunately, I've had so much negative Christian programming in the past that I feel any chant in any language I don't know is potentially bad, conjuring up evil, demons, or bad luck. So I tend not to say mantras. Maybe I should work on getting past my fears and chant mantras anyway. Maybe all and everything is a part of God, so it doesn't matter if I'm chanting to Shiva or whoever. I don't know. But whatever it is, sound, vibration, I feel strongly that I need to let it out. Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate a few things for you that I had just written about in the post. The first thing is the speaking in tongues, which might sound sort of like a language to you. It does sort of to me. Now, these sounds are not part of any language I'm aware of. I've never studied Arabic or Hebrew or anything like that. So I'm just going to do it now, and maybe it just sounds like gibberish. Maybe it sounds like something else. I can keep going on like that all day if I want to. Do I feel anything spiritual about what I've just done? No, I don't. It feels kind of neat, though. It feels like I'm letting out something. But according to the Bible, I don't remember what passage, speaking in tongues is only worthwhile to do within a Christian assembly if there is not only a speaker who is speaking in tongues, but someone who is able to interpret what is being spoken. Otherwise, there's no point. I remember going to a church a long time ago, and it was a charismatic type of Christian church, a holy roller kind of church, not the sort of church in the tradition I was raised in, which was more conservative, mainstream sort of thing. But anyway, in this church, they had people who would sit in a certain section. I don't know if that section was reserved for them or if they just chose to sit there. But they would just let it fly, man, the different kinds of speaking in tongues. But it was more of a singing sort of thing and not what I have just done. Like that. They didn't tend to sound that way. So anyway, I don't know what this is, if it's an ability or if it's just gibberish or not, but that's what it sounds like. Okay, what else was I going to mention? Oh yeah, I don't remember if the title is called Heal Yourself with Your Own Voice or if it's something similar. I think the author's last name is Campbell. I'm not positive. I'm not here to promote that, but maybe it's a helpful thing. He talks about sound. I've only worked my way through a little bit of the audiobook, and I felt foolish. It's hard when I'm living in a family of 4 people. Even though this is a fairly decently sized house, and I'm up late at night, and probably no one will hear me, I still feel very inhibited. I'm an anxious person in general, so. Anyway, the sounds, some of the sounds are kind of like this. They're like, ah, and then it gets even more strange, and yeah, it sounds almost like some kind of orgasm or something, and that feels a bit weird. Some of you may have seen the movie When Harry Met Sally, and remember the most famous scene, which is set in a restaurant, in which Sally, played by Meg Ryan, talks about faking an orgasm, and she's telling this to Harry, who is played by Billy Crystal. And I cannot imitate the sounds that Sally does, but you really need to see that particular scene in that movie. It's quite entertaining. But anyway, so the next sound, I used to be able to do this better. I can't quite imitate the sound of a Tibetan Buddhist monk. I haven't practiced in a while, but it is just saying Om and changing the pitch and resonance of it. I try to get deeper into the throat and bring the sound forward with my mouth and lips. So I'm going to try to do that now. Some of the sound can also be heard on that Healing with Your Own Voice CD audiobook thing. Maybe that's where the guy got it from. And last is the mantra, and sorry, I don't remember the name of the mantra. The name is long, it's in Sanskrit. And I first heard this mantra when I went to a meditation group at the local Unitarian Universalist church. I don't go to that church, even though I kind of agree with their philosophy that we don't really know what God is, and so any tradition is welcome. Or you don't have to be practicing any tradition at all. You can even be an atheist and show up there. Or you can be into Hinduism or Wicca or Christianity or Judaism or whatever. Doesn't matter. But the reason I don't go is because I'm only semi-liberal, and they a very extremely hardcore progressive liberal organization, and I just don't feel comfortable being that far to the left politically, and they make politics a big deal. I wish they wouldn't. If they left politics out of it, I would be happy to attend a Unitarian Universalist church. But anyway, anyone was welcome to come to the meditation group and their other groups. You didn't have to be affiliated with the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. So I heard this mantra for the first time. It was a recording, and we were just supposed to take deep breaths and listen while we heard this recording. And it was done by a Dutch man named Hein Braat. Now, if I remember correctly, his first name is spelled H-E-I-N, and his last name is spelled B-R-A-A-T. I'm not positive. And so here's the mantra. It starts out with 3 ohms. I can't sing it nearly as well as Hein Braat can, but I'm going to do it anyway, just so you know what it sounds like. So, okay, I'll try that. Sugandhi Mushtibarana Kamiwamanana Mrityu Mukshiman Hridayat. I'll do it once more. Sugandhi Mushtivarana Kamiwamanana Mrityu Mukshiman Hridayat. So that's what the mantra sounds like. If you want to leave me a comment, if you're interested in what it's called, I can look it up for you, and maybe I can find the translation. I have it somewhere in my files, but I'm not been able to locate it. It's a prayer to Shiva. It starts out with something like, "Oh, three-eyed one," and something like that. I don't remember the rest of it. But I feel kind of iffy about praying to some god that is part of a tradition that I've never been involved in. I'm not a Christian anymore, and I have not been since the 1990s, but I still have the old Christian fears, and I think I need to try and let go of those. But if there is a spiritual world, I am concerned. I don't know what or who this mantra could conjure up. I don't know. So let me know your opinions if you want to. That'd be great, and if not, that's okay too. Thanks for watching.